back to another Friday freebie feature. Today's artist is Darcy at Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. And this is a freebie or two of hers. I think this is two separate ones. And let me just show you what we're going to be working with quick today. These three tags, and these 5 images. And I have printed the images out twice. One is back. They're both back. Okay, I'm not sure why I printed them twice, but I did. I have an idea for not using them twice, so I might end up with an extra sheet of paper. Anyways, I'm going to cut a bunch of stuff out, and then I will be right back with moving on and our supplies for today. Alrighty, hi there. This is the, I cut out all the tags and I cut out the other page that was like this. So we have some squirrels and some bunnies and a kitty. And we're going to use those in a bunch of different ways. And we're going to make tags. And I'm going to try to make all 6 tags in the time that we have. So I did the cutting out and I did some edging, distressing the edges, and I decided which squirrels are going with which tag. This little guy right here is going to go on this tag because I think his flower matches a lot of the purplies in this thing, but it's a very dramatic tag and a not very dramatic squirrel, so balancing the two ought to be interesting. I think we're going to start with giving him a little bit of a foresty floor to sit on. So I have some of my very favorite paper these days, and I'm going to put this as a base for him to sit on. And then we might need a bit of a transition piece between him and the ground he's sitting on and the background so that we can see him and his flower a little better. So I might use this because it is sort of a aqua color, and it does sort of go with the blue on his tummy and some of these blues, but mostly these are more true blues and this is more of a green. So I'm going to cut off a chunk and try it and see if this will work or not. If this won't work as a bridge, I will try some other stuff. But we're going to try this as a bridge piece between this floor. Let's call this the forest floor. Okay, so I think this scroll work is a cemetery gate, which by the way is a really good song, but that's besides the point. But I think of that as a cemetery gate, and it's ancient old-fashioned cemetery, church cemetery in that forest, and this little guy lives nearby and collects all the nuts that fall off the tree in the cemetery. That's what I'm going with. That's my story, because I always have to make up stories. So I'm going to trim off this rolly edge and get us a bit of a more raggedy edge. Let's see how that goes. I actually think that that's gray enough. It's not so teal green, right? It's not so aqua that it's going to be bad or harsh. Then I think, because I accidentally chopped off his foot, either that or the nut was right there. When I cut him out, I'm not sure if he actually had a foot, but there was a nut right there and I didn't want it, so I cut it off, and somehow he's lost a foot. So what if I cover the evidence of my treachery with something that feels a little grassy? So we're going to call this little guy the gatekeeper. He is cleanup duty for the cemetery and keeps everybody's eternal home nice and tidy. And yeah, look I think this is gray enough that it matches the leaf. So I'm going to go ahead and go with this. And I don't know that I love this tag yet, but sometimes I can sit and think about what's wrong. Oh, shoot. So, okay, I'm going to pause. Hang on. I've messed something up. Okay, I hope I fixed the problem, and I hope this video turns out, because I don't want to do it twice. In any case, I'd like to introduce you to the gatekeeper. So this is what I'm going to go with, and we're going to start with this piece because it is the lowest piece on here. And I will just put some glue stick down in some sort of triangular shape, because that's kind of how it went. And then I will stretch this all across that area. And make it all raggedy over here, because we don't want anything neat and tidy in the forest. We want it to look, I was going to say I want it to look natural, but if you make it too raggedy, it's not going to look natural, right? And if you make it too perfect, it doesn't look natural. Although, I have found some oddly perfect things in nature that you wouldn't expect. I bet everybody has, but I'm just saying that that's not always true. Sometimes things in nature are spot on. Like somebody measured it and planned it. Let's see here. I think I'm going to go this way. I had this the other way, but I think I like it better this way, and I'm thinking I'll let it stick off the bottom a little bit. Okay, let's put some glue on there. I don't like what I've done over here. I might have to fix that. Remember that you can always fix stuff. I was saying before that if I don't make a commitment and just decide that that's the way things are going to be, then I can sit and debate for the longest time. Is this the right color? Is this the right shape? Is this the right critter? Is just... So I try to do a little bit of thought and then pull the trigger. That's actually part of the reason I know you can fix just about anything. And I bet you've heard me say it before. If you can't fix it, it doesn't really matter. It's just paper. It's just paper. Sometimes it matters. Sometimes if you've put hours and hours and hours into a thing only to find out, like for instance, you sold some of the papers in your signatures upside down. Sometimes you can just leave it and it doesn't even matter. But other times it completely matters, and it's going to be a super big deal to pull out a particular signature and get it to sit the right way. And sometimes it's not cool at all to have to fix stuff in it. But most of the time it is fixable and it is not a big deal. And even if it were, throw it away. Because unless you put those hours and hours and hours in, like I'm saying, for a whole journal or something, just start over. Just do it again. Just do it different this time. Okay, I'm going to pull out the liquid glue. I haven't had this out in a while, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. Well, it's not going to go at all. You know why? Because this bottle's empty. That is one thing I have learned, is that if you want glue to come out of the bottle, there has to actually be glue in the bottle. can't say I'm not informative, because look what I just teached people. You know what? I thought I had another open bottle, and I don't see it anywhere. So, let me reach into my glue basket. I can't see what I'm doing. I have too much stuff in my way. Come here, you. There we go. That shouldn't be nearly as hard as it seemed. I'm gonna try just a plain needle size hole first. I usually start with a very, very small hole, and then the farther down the bottle I get, the larger the opening gets. But I don't think I've ever tried this small before. I'm gonna see if this works. It's a gel glue, so it might be just way too thick to do that. Let's find out, shall we? No? Yeah, I'm squeezing awful hard and nothing is happening. That's just gonna hurt my hands. So give me a sec. Let's chop that instead. That's still pretty little. Let's try that. Okay. Let's see what I did wrong. Now I don't know if the tiny pinhole would work because I didn't take the seal out of the cover. Oh, good grief. Oh, the things we do. Oh, the silly things we do. Okay. That's all right. I think this is still going to be a fine size. Okay, let's get the green grass at this little squirrely's feet. Because he can't be traipsing through the forest if there's no forest. We need a little right here. All right. There's our first tag. Super, super easy. Just a little bit of layering and our gatekeeper squirrel. I don't know what I'm going to do for, you know, the tabby part. I don't know what I'm going to do for the tabby parts on these yet. So let me finish going through the ideas, and then maybe if we have time, we'll look at that also. So here is number 2. And for number 2, I am going to do, let me make sure this is the right one. Yes, I believe. Let me just check one more. One more. What are we doing with you? Okay. This is the one I'm going to do some, I'm going to get my decal edge scissor out, and we're going to do a bit of a choppy line around this guy. Including the ticket part. Yeah. We'll pretend the ticket is torn out of something. And then finish with a more wobbly bit. I'm saving the scraps to the side because I got plans for them too. So I'm going to take my ink pad and outline this guy, girl, bunny, There we go. Now, I want some layering on this too, but I didn't pull out a whole lot of supplies, and I don't have a whole lot of energy today. So I'm not really sure what we're going to do to layer here, but let me just look at a couple of things. So I have this thing, a harp. Does a bunny play the harp? Maybe that's, oh, it says El Museo Pictorico Theorica. I'm not sure what that means, but maybe there's music involved. But I don't know. No, I can't see where that would go with what I'm doing. But maybe to highlight the bunny, I have this piece of just white ribbon. It's just a leftover bit, right? Maybe oh my gosh. So I was just hearing a noise behind me. It turns out it's a cat. So I have a cat right here on my desk in a bed, and a cat right here in a bed on the other side of my desk, and now there's a cat behind me coming out of a drawer in my supply shelves. Jeez Louise. Good morning, Revan. I didn't know you were in the house. I thought you were outside playing. Did you have a lovely nap? Okay, so I actually like this a lot. I need to get it to lay down better, but I like this white because there's white in the dots. There's a little white here, and there's some white in the bunny picture. So I like that this really lightens up the whole thing. So I'm going to get glue stick on this. It will help flatten it out. And we'll use this little bit of leftover ribbon. This is why you save your scraps. Save your ribbon scraps too, because you know what? Ribbon scraps are lovely. That's right. Ribbon scraps are lovely. What I should have done, and I didn't do, is think of where this bunny is best placed. So now I kind of just got to go with what I've done. But I guess I like it like that. Yeah, I guess that's a good spot. So I'm going to put the bunny right there. And let's get some liquid glue for this so it does all the layers. Okay. I'm not liking this. My ribbon is not behaving, so I'm going to add a little here and get it to lay down properly. There we go. Whoops. Okay, I just got a little carried away there. And there. And I should quit fussing before I completely wreck this. Okay, there. We have our bunny and our white background to our bunny, our accent bit, and I'm going to call this one done for right now. So again, just a couple of little bits. You would never think that these tags could go with these cards. So I'm kind of showing how you can blend a bunch of stuff and you might not even know they can go together. the tags that we've done so far, these two, not done, right? They're not a complete project. So there's going to a little more is going to happen with these guys. But like I said, I want to show you all 6 of these put together, and then we'll move on if we have time. This one, I'm going to do quite a bit different in that I am going to use the kitty on the back of this one, but I'm going to use him as a pocket. So the first thing I'm going to do is get out my, I'll get out my little metal ruler, line that up with the edge of the tag, and cut off this extra strip. The second thing I'm going to do then is, nope, not that. The second thing I'm going to do is I want to fold over a tiny bit of this top because I want the pocket top to be really sturdy. So I'll just line this up with the lines on my cutting mat. And line this up with it. And you know what? I do have a scoring board which I could be using, but not everybody has one, so I'm just showing you can do it other ways. Although if you might not have a bone folder either, but there's a really thin fold over now. Okay, so I'm going to squish that down, then I'm going to glue it. I just want a really thin, tiny bit of glue right here. So I'm actually just sliding I set the bottle right down on the paper and just slid it across. And there is more than enough glue to hold that piece down just by doing that. Okay, we have a kitty pocket. And the kitty pocket is going to go right here. Not entirely sure how I managed that, but it's still a little too wide. I need to take off a little bit more. I don't know if you've noticed, but the fold for the top of this pocket is also really, really wonky. I had it straight, and then, you know, it just wasn't. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see this, but the fold over is sticking out just a tiny bit, so I'm just going to trim off. Not even enough to see, I don't think. But I didn't like it, so I'm trimming it. I'm going to outline this pocket. Just quick like that. And then, let's get it glued down and in place. Just like that. I want it pretty even with the bottom, and just because I had to cut it twice, it's going to be ever so slightly set in from the sides, and that's a lovely thing. I like the way that looks. All right, we have a kitty. We have a kitty. Now, on the front, to make this somewhat cohesive, I'm going to take the piece from the front, or from the leftover piece from the kitty, and I'm going to put it on the front somehow. But I'm not entirely sure what I want to do here and how I want to do it. You know what? We're going to leave that till the second round of stuff we do with these two. So right now we just have a kitty pocket on the back of the tag, and the front of the tag is left the way we found it. Okay, so that one is started. Next tag. Next tag is going to be some fussy cotton and some not so fussy cotton. So I'm going to do Around the Moon. And the little bunny ear seems to be, and seems to be sticking up a little bit, and then the rest of the moon, and then this flower. And I think I'm going to pretend there's another flower bit there. And then I want this ticket. So I'm kind of showing you that if you get digitals, you do not have to leave them the way that you found them. They are loaded with elements and pieces and stuff that you can use any way you see fit. I'm actually going to put this piece kind of right back where it was, but the reason I took it off is because I want this little guy kind of sitting off to the edge, and I want this ticket kind of back where it was, almost exactly right. I think it was over just a tiny bit, but I want it kind of just set in from the edge of the tag like this. Maybe we'll even pull this all the way down like that. Except it's covering that cool color. What if we do this? Yeah, I like that. Okay, now the reason I did that is because I want to do some more layering. And I actually had some stuff for this, and now I can't remember what I was going to do. So we're just going to wing it a little bit here. What if we take some of this blue-gray stuff? Again. So I keep thinking of this as a baseball bunny because this seems like an event ticket, and this leaf right here, it doesn't look anything like a baseball hat, but when I see it out of the corner of my eye, I keep thinking that this is a bunny in a baseball hat. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to have that, and then I want to have something, and maybe it will end up being this. I'm not sure. Let's see. And then I want to have the bunny. Yeah, maybe not that. Okay, so I have some alternatives. That's a little extreme. But there's parts of it that are a nice yellow. And this is a nice pale yellow tag. Not that. I have something over here that's a lot like bunny fur, but that seems kind of mean, doesn't it? Yeesh. How about, oh, here's something. So this is the same thing. This is just dyed cheesecloth, but what if we get a more actual blue bit? This might look better because this is a bit brighter of a tag, right? So maybe it's going to look better if we do the colors better, matching words. Oh my. Okay. What do we think of that? definitely like that better. I don't know if I like it best. I'm going to try cutting a section of this out and see if this helps. Can we get some yellow something? Let me fray some edges though. I'm not very wise about types of fabric, and I keep thinking I should just go to the store and ask them which fabrics fall apart best. Because I like the frayed edges, which I think probably be a funny question, because don't people usually ask which one's not going to fall apart? All right. So I don't know if I'm going to use a big chunk like this. Or not. But what if we did some yellow to accentuate the yellow? And then, whoops. And then how about a blob of blue? Because a blob of blue would go. And then we have the ticket to the big event, whatever it might be. And then we have the bunny. I think that the white control on my camera is not liking this tag at all. I'm going to put it together just like this. I'm going to do some quick inking and we're going to move on, because I just looked up at my monitor and realized that I don't know if you guys can even see this one very well. So I apologize for that. I'm going through a lot of hemming and hawing, not even realizing that I don't know if it can even be seen. So I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do a little bit of edging on the yellow piece, just on the frayed edges. And then, so I did some inking and I'm going to turn it over, which might seem a bit silly, but you can just see little tiny bits of the back, right? Or you can see little tiny bits of the edging that I did. And that's all I really want to show up, and it really shows off the piece of fabric. Makes it show up better. So let's do that. Then let's do, yikes, get over here a bit. I covered up too many of the blue bubbles. Then let's go like this. Yep, right there. Just like that, as straight as I can anyway. Then let's do the blue blob. I think I'm going to turn it this way. No, I won't, because then I won't be mimicking the shape of the bunny card, and then it'll bother me. I'm not even going to glue this piece down. I'm going to let the bunny glue it down. And then I will go back and glue down any bits that bother me. Or trim off any pieces that bother me too. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. All right, there we go. Now I am going to trim this blob off the corner. I am going to trim this bit on top because I'd like it curvier. And just a little showing out the top. And I think, no, I'm going to clean this blob up a little bit, but I think I'm going to leave the rest for now. Okay, there we go. There we go. I think I know what I'm going to do with this one on round 2 of the what do you do with these guys. But there's the yellow and blue bunny tag. See if I can get it to show with no glare. There it is. That's pretty unglary. Let's move on. Next, we have a squirrel. Another squirrel, because I love squirrels. And look how well this guy goes with this tag. I don't think these were intended to go together. And I actually had a different one picked out for this because of that teal color in the background at first, but I just couldn't resist. And I'm going to do another torn edge look on this one. Partly because I don't want to sit in fussy cut, and partly because I just like the look of torn edges. Autumn leaves will always make me think of torn edges. It just seems to fit. Alright, and now let's get some inking on this guy because he matches the card so well, he doesn't show up all that great. You might think it's a bit silly that I use the whole ink pad to do my edge inking, but when I want just a little bit of a shadow like this, I use these really cheap ink pads that, I mean, they get torn up from using them this way, but they're like $1, so they don't really matter that much, and it works really nice for getting the edge I want. All right, there we go. No fighting, guys. Hold on, I got a kitty fight on my desk. I'll be right back. All right then, I no longer have kitties fighting on my desk, and I made a decision about this guy because I want those numbers to show better. So I cut this part off. I am going to do the same edging on the new cut spot. And then, I'm not going to waste those leaves, right? So I'm going to put this here still. Excuse me, lady cat. Stay there. And then I'm going to tuck this one over on this side. There we go. I'm going to do it like that. So I'm going to actually use pieces of the piece to do some layering. And then let's pull all the favorites back. We have the cheesecloth in various colors. We have the foresty bit, but I don't think, I mean, there's an industrial sort of feel to this, so I don't think I like that same paper for this one. I kind of like this fabric that we just used on the yellow for this one, but not quite the bright color. So I'm wondering if I could layer with a snippet right out of this section right here. it's a little mellower, right? And again, I like it all fringy. And my lights are cutting out. That's always handy. Hang on a sec. There we go. There we go. Now, I don't know for sure I'm going to use this, and if I do, I don't know where. Let's try it right here first. Well, let's let it make a mess out of everything. That'll work. I actually do kind of like that, so I'm going to leave that. And then think about one of the blue ones, the blue or the teal color, because I want to, there seems to be some of this in the background, but between these flowers and in the thing of the leaves, seems to really go with it very well. It's not an exact match because it's the background's more of a gray color, right? But it's got some sort of tealish element. So what if I copy that with the grayer bit? Maybe just up the side here. Let's check that out. If I just put a strip up the back side. Not entirely sure I should use those words, but there you go. Strip up the back side sounds like a description of thongs. Gross. Oh, too funny. Okay. All right, so I'm going to try just this piece. Let's see if this helps accentuate that color or not. Or, you know, maybe I just can't even get it to sit in the right place, so I just don't even get to know. Okay, I want this. Wow. Okay, I want this to sit right here. And every time I flip it over, the straight edge seems to be on a different spot. Don't mind it running into the numbers a little bit, but not much. Okay, stay, sit, stay. And then this goes at the front of the squirrel. And then the squirrel. And let's take a look at what we think of that. You know what I think? I think Kitty's moved my camera this way. I'm sorry if I make anybody seasick while I adjust it back where it's supposed to be. That way and that way. There we go. Now things make more sense. There's a squirrel tag. I'm not in love with this cluster, at least not yet. But I'm going to glue it all down as it is because I like it so far. I think that's how I felt about all of them to this point. Thought, well, it's a good start. All right, there we go. Squish. All right, last tag, and then we might have a few minutes left for what we're going to do to embellish. So here's the last tag, and the sheet to cut things out of only had 5 pictures. So we did the first 5 tags with those pictures, and then what I thought I would do with this last one is take these little bits, all the cut off stuff, including the fray strings, and let's see if I can get the rest of the strips over here. That I was going to use on the bunny one. I still am, I think. And those all look like they are backside cutoffs. Okay, so here's all the stuff. And I thought we'll just take this last one because it is really just very generic, right? It's got some burgundy brownish color, it's got a cream color, and it's got a navy-ish blue color in it. And it's almost like a linen design, like a weave, linen weave design. So I thought we would take this stuff and just create some kind of a collage, scrappy collage on the front out of all the bits and bobs. So, like, I don't need things to be super straight, but I like that color. And I think we can cut it down this way as well. These two have some visual interest on them. I know there's one here with the polka dots. There we go. This one has some visual interest. I might have to do something about that. I might have to use the polka dots another way too, because now I wanted straight edges and I just cut all the polka dots off. This can be used on the green side or the coffee dyed background side. Since there is no green and orange really on this side, we'll probably end up using this side. Just so we don't accentuate the orange of that. I don't know that for sure though. I might be just blabbing. I might just be blabbing. Nobody knows what I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to cut this one straight down too. And then this one's got a lot of interest, but I used most of it. So I'm not sure if we can get a bit out of that or not. Oh, here, we can get a bit out of this. We can get a bit of visual interest out of that. Let's see where this gets us. So, what do we got? Start with the biggest piece first whenever you're collaging. There's the biggest piece. We'll put it in this corner right here. I think this is probably the next biggest piece. What if we put it across like that? I think this is the next biggest piece. And I want to make sure I keep the number in there. So what if I do that? Then the next biggest piece is this one. And I want to keep the blue dot. And I only got one blue dot because I was careless with my dots. What if I go up like that? Then we have a long skinny piece. And I'm not sure that this goes anywhere, but wait, it's also got this side. I'm not sure here. What if I do, because this is not a very straight cut, what if I did this? Nope, that's, what if, I like this idea, but it's not fat enough to be a joiner. What if I did that? Kind of like that. Then what if I took the really skinny piece and put it on the underside of this one? And then what? Oh, this one's the one that I got at the end that had really good interest on it. What if I just did this one like that? No, I don't like it there. What if I put it on its own down there? I'm gonna look in the monitor for a second. Okay, again with the terrible lighting. What in the world has happened to my lighting? It used to be fairly decent. Let's try it to the warm side. Let's turn it up. Good grief. All right, well, I'm doing the best I can today, peeps. This is all we got. As far as shapes and balance and such, I kind of like the way this is looking right now. As far as a done piece, not even remotely. I'm going to try it one more way. See if maybe, let's try it once with the green. And let's just take that light off altogether. That is actually a little better. I thought that light would help and it really just didn't. So let's try adding the green this time. I already think I don't like it. Yeah, I already don't like it so much I'm not gonna do it. Oh, good grief. I don't like it. Okay, let's get the visual interest back then. What if I do that? And cut that wonky bit off, but I'll lose some of the leaves. I don't really want to do that. So then what if I do a really, here, I could do this, I could do a piece so skinny, like that, across the bottom so I don't lose those leaves. Then we need an up and down piece again. We can do this fat up and down piece. We can do the one with the bubble, polka dot, nope, I don't know where the one with the polka dot goes. Maybe right there, but then I need this one to be taller. I could pull this whole thing up farther. And this can still create this a straighter edge across the bottom of it. Actually, I can use a wider one now, can't I? So it can be a little less difficult. I can just go there. Now we can add the polka dot like that. And we can add my favorite little piece. Ah! Oh, pain and woe. Misery is mine. Okay, so again, there. You know what? I really need a third color. I don't like the green, but I need a third color. Hang on. Okay, I don't know how this is going to work, but this is what I'm going to go for. So this is a piece of tea-dyed tissue paper, or I mean tracing paper, and it has a little bit of this geometric design to it because of the tray that I dried it on. So I'm going to use this, since it feels a little grungy and geometric and slightly industrial, like that tag makes me feel. So let's just cut a strip first. Actually, let's cut two because we're going to need more anyway, and this next area is kind of cool too. Okay. My hope is that this just adds a little bit of grunge and dirt and the geometric thing, while at the same time, maybe some of this color and pattern will show through. So now, what if we do that, and then this, and then that, and oh, I'm going about this wrong. So let's tear off a section and do this, and then this, and then that perhaps, and then another section of this perhaps. Come on. In there. There we go. And then I got a little over frustrated and I've mixed up all the things we were using, so there's that. Wait, I have a new idea. I'm gonna put this over here. I'm gonna move this over. And I'm going to move this right here. Okay, and that. And, ooh, if I move this over to here, I can cut that off and have another section of little blue. Okay, like this, and then where's the polka dot piece? There it is, and the little red piece. Little red piece, polka dot piece. All right, let me look at that. This is more what I think I'm going to end up liking. I might do a little changing along the way, but this is what we're going to do. So, I like this better. We're going to stick in some extra pieces along the way, and I'm going to do a little bit of adjustment. So the first adjustment I'm going to make is I'm going to put this almost to the bottom and almost to the side. And then this side it'll end up getting flush trimmed. And I hate to say it, but I'm going to outline these guys. Okay, now I am running out of time, so we're not going to do any further embellishment on these tags, but these tags are going to end up in a journal, and when they end up in a journal, they will be further embellished and decorated to match that journal. So stay tuned, and you will probably see these guys again. As soon as I'm done gluing all this down, we'll take a look at what we've gotten done today, and then we'll be done for this Friday's Friday freebie feature. All right, and then I think I'm going to do this one all the way down this edge. Only maybe the other, nope. I'm going to do this one instead. I might have to tear this off. In fact, I will have to tear this off, but I want this dark design on this edge of the piece. This one I'm going to use glue stick for because I think the liquid glue would show through too much. If you get the liquid glue in lines and they don't even out flat like the glue stick does, then the lines will show through. And I don't want glue lines showing through. I just don't care for that look. There we go. My glue stick holder is not cooperating with me. Okay, there's that one. And then I'm going to take that extra long one and edge it quick. I'll do that one right there. Yep, that is what I'll do. Okay. Then I'm going to need a bit of this going the other direction, so let's go ahead and use this piece, and I will use it right over. So I'm going to do it from here over, and then I'll tear off that little extra. Careful now. Careful now, or that awkward edge will end up permanent, and then I will be terribly unhappy. Nah, just kidding. I wouldn't be unhappy. I would just think of something to put there. I won't know till it dries if this is turning out the way I want it to. So fingers crossed on that. And it looks like it's showing through somewhat the texture of the paper underneath, but not as much as I would like. So I think the coffee dyeing on this tracing paper is just a tad too dark for what I was hoping for. But I think it'll still work. I think it'll still work out okay. So I'm going to put this one, I'm going to put it up here, right? Because I'm going to use that other blue piece to go across and even out this bottom. So I'll go ahead and put it up a little higher, like this. And let's get some glue on here. And then, actually let's have that going off the edge over there. And then I'll have the blue even it out piece going off the edge on the other side. I don't know if this is the piece I want. I see it one I think might be better. Oh, I see another one I think might be even better. Oh, goodness sakes. It's amazing I ever get anything done, I swear. So I'm sitting here debating on these 3 strips, this one, and this one, which one has the proper color balance and pattern for where I want to use it. They're all cut from the same thing. There's very little difference in them at all. Oh, good grief. Good grief, lady. Okay, I need this to overlap enough to cover up that bad cut. Also to match up with the tracing paper. Okay, that one goes right there. Now, ones I want to be sure to get on are this one, because I love it very much, and the one with the bubble. I've lost the bubble again. I can't even really believe how many times I've lost that bubble. There it is. Okay, I think that's what I'm going to do right there. It's a little weird and not how I usually do collage, but it's all right. We're going to try this anyway. All right, we're almost done. Yay! This one is going to go right there, leaning to the left. And this one is going to go here to the right. And I need to pull it down farther, and I need a chunk of the blue. I didn't want to do this, but I think there needs to be a little piece of blue vertical right there. So I'm just going to do it, but I'm going to do it with this piece. Is that right? Yes. No, I like the fatter one better. right there. Okay, and right about there. So the reason I chose this width instead of the skinnier one I chose is because the skinny one was very close to this, and this one is in between this one and this one, which means all 4 of these blue sections are a different width. If I get too close to the same, but they're not exact, then it looks like you made a mistake. But if you get close to the same, but enough different that you can tell it was on purpose different, then you're golden. At least that's my theory. Okay, let's cut the, actually let's not cut the edges off yet. Cutting the edges off, it should wait till it dries a little bit. Let's pull out the other tags. I'll turn them upside down so we can start with the first one, the driest. And I don't think I'm going to do any trimming on this guy. So we have Squirrel, the gatekeeper. I'm going to pull my camera out a bit so we can lay all these out. Get rid of that glue so we don't wreck anybody. So we have the gatekeeper. And does this one need any trimming? No. We have little Fiorina Fluffy Bunny. I don't know why that's her name, but I figure she's going to the theater and she needs a fancy name. We have a Cozy Book Kitty. And don't forget that this one is a pocket on the back of the tag, right? And this is the front that has had nothing done with it yet. And then we have this one, the one that I call the baseball bunny, even though that's not a baseball hat. But now I just can't unsee it. It's one of those things, you know. We have this guy, Mr. Industrial Squirrel. Whoops. Okay, ran out of camera space. Scoot up, kids. There we go. We have Mr. Industrial Squirrel right here, and then I'm going to do the trimming. Might be a little early. I'll be careful. One. Ooh. Okay. Okay. One more snip. Okay, and then let me fix the edges before I show you the results. All right, and then we have this one that we just made, collaging out of the little cutoffs and bits and pieces from all the other ones. So think about this one with a sentiment here or a focal point here or something, right? That these colors are all going to go with and has a little bit of an industrial feel. But what if I put a viney flower thingy up there or something? That would be super cool. Let's talk about Benjamin Baseball Bunny. I don't know what I would do with this one or what I intend for this one. But again, this bunny does not have to be the focal point. He can be an also thing. So some more viney things could be put up and down this whole thing. Or make the back match. Or both, for that matter. And I think, yep, I left that a little bit. So some things can still tuck in behind there. And then make the tab at the top of the tag, make that match whatever gets added to this one. This one is just an open book, right? It can be left the way it is if you want to. But the back has room for a tag, and it's got a kitty and a flower and a book on it. So this could be a library one, a library journal, or a reading journal, or just a cozy tea time journal, or a kitty journal, or a flat garden journal, whatever. And then add a focal point up this one too. Maybe just add a spray of flowers out here, right? Just a half moon of flowers right there. That would look really cool, and then this whole thing would be the background to your half moon of flowers. This one, I think this one needs some stamping on it, some gears, and a clock, and some stuff. And this one I also left the edges a little unglued, right? So some stuff can tuck behind. Squirrels are very busy, hard workers. So, I don't know. It's an industrial squirrel. They're very industrious. A Fiorina Fluffy Bunny off to the ballet. I don't know what you'd want to add to this one, but I picture some lace added to this one, and maybe some at the top, and maybe a little piece of lace down here, or maybe give her a hat. That would be so cute. But again, whatever journal you're going to put it in, you have a journal that's got a lot of pink in it, or pink and orange, or even pink and purple, because there's purple down here, right? You have a journal with a lot of those colors in, and you find you can use this, decorate and finish this tag to match whatever journal you're going to put it in. Lastly, the gatekeeper. What do we do with him? This is a very dramatic tag with a very sweet little squirrel on it. So this one kind of makes me giggle a little bit every time I look at it, as I'm like, okay, there's a lot of juxtaposition going on here. So I don't know. I'm thrilled with this one. I don't know how you'd finish this one. I don't know what you would ever do with this one, but it makes me laugh and smile. So I like it a lot. I like the drama squirrel and the gatekeeper squirrel, and the idea that he keeps the cemetery clean for all of its residents. And I don't know, it's just me. That's just me. Okay, that is it for these tags. This is a freebie from Darcy at Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. Please make sure that you go check out her YouTube channel and check out her Ko-fi store and get some freebies for yourself. And she has another big freebie, and if you'd like to see what I do with that, Darcy will be making a return to Friday freebie feature. Not next week, but somewhere down the line, Darcy will get another turn. So thank you for hanging out with me. Go do some art. It's good for your brain. It's good for your soul. See you next time. Bye.